Mom,
Is that
I know it
another
would
thing,
have
is
been
that another
totally
thing that makes
different.
sense to you?
She never gets upset when she talks to me, whether I haven't seen her for an entire day, or if I had to work late at night and I didn't see her almost an entire day until the next morning.
The last time somebody took her and you didn't see her for 5 weeks was when?
Never.
Okay. Now, you haven't seen her in 5 weeks. She's not seen you in 5 weeks.
No.
Okay? She's been with this woman or somebody for 5 weeks. Hasn't been to her own home, hasn't seen her mother in 5 weeks. That didn't upset her. She was fine. She's talking about the book. I mean, is all that stuff you're saying true,
She's
right?
always been like that, though. I don't understand how.
Okay, but I'm getting back. Let's get back to you say this has never happened before. She's never not seen you for 5 weeks. But now after 5 weeks of not seeing her mother, not talking to her mother, okay? She finally talks to her mother for 5 weeks. You ask her where she is. You begin asking her these questions, and she just wants to talk about the book. She's happy. She's not worried. Doesn't seem upset.
She's always like that. You can even ask my mom. She's the same
Okay, let me
way.
go back to when was the last time you didn't see her for 5 weeks? When was the last time something like this happened where she was gone and you didn't see her for 5 weeks? The last time this happened was when?
Never.
Okay, so this is the first time, okay?
This is the first time I've been away from her for more than a day.
Okay. The first time you've ever been away from her for more than a day, and she wasn't the least bit upset.
No.
When you talked to her on the phone.
She wasn't the least bit upset when I talked
She went
to her.
on about, she know I miss you, Mommy, none of that. She talked, like you said, she talked about the book and all that stuff, right? That's it?
And when I asked her to give the phone to another adult, to somebody else, she was fine. She was willing to do it, but the phone hung up. She doesn't hang up phones. I know.
And that's the phone she called you on, your cell phone?
Yes.
Can I see that real quick? What are you doing?
Now, if this is the first time she's ever been gone away from you for more than a day, I'm a parent too. I would have been just beside myself.
I have been.
I would have called the police immediately, and that's the part that I just don't understand. Well,
I
we've
didn't know
got so
what
many
to do.
resources out there that we could help on day one.
You didn't know what to do.
I didn't know what to do. At that point, I'm thinking, okay, they haven't been gone that long. Maybe I can find them. Maybe I can track them down.
They
That
haven't been
first
gone
day,
They haven't been gone that long.
That
This is
first-
yesterday, right?
no, that very first day that all of this happened, that I went to pick up Kaylee and she wasn't there. Initially, my thought is that they went out to do something for a little bit. Maybe I just missed a phone call. Maybe
Right.
I didn't get the call or the text message. Maybe something fell through the crack. It's happened before.
But now
All the time.
right, I understand all that, okay? I want you to focus on what we're doing here, okay? All right? Because I want to make sure we get this right. After having not seen your daughter for or heard from, or not knowing your daughter was for 5 weeks, she calls you on the phone. You have a conversation with her where she talks about the books.
She can't.
Well, hold on. Let me finish.
Yep.
You have this conversation with her after not seeing or hearing from her for 5 weeks. The phone call's terminated. You don't get a chance to talk to an adult, okay? The very next thing you do after that is what? Call the police? But you must have called the police right after that. Did you call the city police, or do you remember who you called? Which police agency did you call yesterday?
I didn't call anybody at noon after I got that phone call. I sat down.
You didn't think that was odd? This conversation, you didn't think this?
I thought it was extremely odd.
But not odd enough to call the police and try to get help.
Let me throw something in if you don't mind.
Sure.
Rick is at the office and Mick's finishing up the interview, and that was actually Mick calling me. You know Ricardo, right? Obviously your ex-boyfriend. We brought him down to the office, and he's been talking to a couple of our detectives down there, and he was able to help us because he's telling us something I was. The length of this month, when you're staying at your other boyfriend's house, Tony, the rest of the month?
He'd been out of town, so I was staying over at another friend's place while he was gone. I wasn't staying at his apartment. I was staying with Amy and Ricardo and JP. JP and Ricardo own the house.
So why didn't you tell us you were staying there? We drove right by the house this morning, didn't we, when we went to the, okay, and you're putting it this old folks home, which is another lie, right? Because Annie never lived there. Am I correct? Okay, why were you pointing at this old folks home and saying Zanny lived there at one point when she didn't?
Because she had gone there before. I'd seen her there.
She went to the old folks home?
Yes.
But you never dropped your kid off to her at an old folks home. You never went into the old folks home and went to an apartment with her.
No.
Yet across the street from this old folks home, right there in Glenwood, is where Ricardo lives, with Amy and JP, all of whom are at our station talking to our detectives right now. So obviously, you know, we're not stupid, okay? And what you're doing right now is you're treating us like we're stupid.